YouTube for real estate agents. If you're looking to start closing a ton of deals from YouTube, this video is for you. Let me give you some context as to how incredible and inspiring this guest is that I have on my channel today. John Pena from El Paso, Texas. 5 months ago was a brand new agent, an introvert, never put out a video in his life, just moved to a brand new city, didn't know a single person, with no business. And in 5 months, he's now at the point where this month alone, he's going to be closing 5 transactions solely from YouTube. So what we're going to do today is I've got John on and he's going to walk you through his highest converting videos that have attracted him up to a call a day from somebody looking to move to his city. He's going to give you the blueprint of exactly what you can do to start today in order to get deals from your channel, and how he's gone from being a new agent to actually building incredible momentum using YouTube and video marketing. So heading into 2021, you know that YouTube is important, but so many people are struggling. So John, at the age of almost now 50, is going to break down how he, with no excuses, went from being a brand new agent with no business to actually being overwhelmed to the point where he's got too much business only from his YouTube channel. So without further ado, I'm going to link both of John's channels below. Make sure you check those out because they are an exact blueprint of what you can emulate in your own market to get deals from your channel. So let's bring on John and show you how you can get started with crushing it on YouTube for real estate agents in 2021. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, and this is one that I've been wanting to do for a long time now. I've got an incredible agent who's actually in my group, John Pena from El Paso, Texas, and what we're going to dive into today is exactly how John went from a brand new agent with no experience, moved to an entirely new market where he didn't know anybody, and has been able to build a flourishing real estate business within the last 5 months using YouTube and video. So it's been incredible to watch John go from, being shy to being on camera to absolutely crushing it and ranking #1 for every search term related to your city. And it's so inspiring to see that you are the one that took action and you're doing something that anybody can do, but you actually executed. And the fact that you did that, the results have proven strong. So John, welcome, man. Super excited to have you on here.
Thanks so much for having me, Mike. Appreciate it.
It's going to be fun, man, because again, you're the exact representation of what so many people should be doing. Is you basically said, I'm moving to a new city. I don't know many people. How am I going to get myself out there? I don't want to do it the old school way of door knocking and cold calling every day. And you decided to put yourself on video. And the thing that's impressed me so much about you is that I gave you a whole list of videos to do and you went and did them. And then you continued to build off that. And, prior to jumping on camera here, you were mentioning that you've got something like 5 deals closing this month potentially, and you're a new agent and all from video. So John, why don't you give people a brief background of yourself before we dive into some of the creative things that you've done to really leverage video and YouTube for your business?
Absolutely. So I moved to El Paso in the last summer, 2020. I didn't know anybody, just like you said. And so I had about 4 or 5 months, and I did go out and I was actually studying for my real estate exam. And was trying to kind of meet some people. I knew I was going to be a real estate agent. And then I got licensed in January of 2020. Actually, that must have been the summer of 2019 when I moved there. Got licensed in January 2020. Started with Keller Williams in February, and then I was ready to go. I was super excited. And then we started hearing about this thing called coronavirus. And all of a sudden, the world blew up. And I knew maybe like 15 people in a city. I was a brand new real estate agent. And so I kind of struggled along there for about 5 months with Keller Williams. Didn't make any traction. I couldn't obviously go out and door knock. There wasn't a lot of opportunities to network. And so I started reading books. Actually read a book by Gary Keller called The One Thing. And the idea in there essentially is to figure out what's the most important thing that you need to do. For me, it was lead gen. And then the idea was, all right, find the people who are doing this well at the highest levels and essentially do what they're doing. And quite honestly, that's how I found you on YouTube. I started watching your free content on YouTube, the Facebook ads, Instagram, YouTube, all of that. And I started, the light bulb was kind of going off. I was like, this actually sounds brilliant, especially during COVID. And so I started putting some of those things into place. And then you came on actually one day and said, hey, I made a move from my original broker to EXP. I hopped on with you. I did my first video in July 18th. And so just under 5 months, it has been 100% of my business. It's been unbelievable.
That's incredible, man. And your videos now, I know the first video you put out has, I think, 10,000 views now. And it's, you know, ranking #1 whenever you search for moving to El Paso, Texas, living in El Paso, Texas. And it's incredible to see that, you know, you just did exactly what we preach. And so many people see, you know, we give them the blueprint and they do nothing with it. And then you're out here slinging deals left, right, and center from your content. So, you know, for you, what was the journey like for video? I know there's a lot of agents that, okay, you know, Mike, I understand I need to be on video, but I'm nervous or I'm scared or it's not going to work for me. Kind of walk through that journey of why you decided to do video and any kind of piece of advice for people looking to do the same.
Sure. Well, I decided to do the video because quite honestly, I just didn't have much other choices. Again, I wasn't going to be able to go out and door knock. Quite honestly, I'm an introverted kind of person. The idea of spending all day cold calling, it just, I couldn't, it just wasn't for me. And so this provided an option for me where I thought I could gain some traction in the market. And while, like I said, I am more of an introverted kind of quiet guy, I'm still confident enough that if I put my mind to something, I can do it, right? And so it's easy, you know, when I first, right before I started, it's so easy to get the paralysis analysis and start thinking about, oh man, what camera am I going to use? And I got to get all these lights and what's my backdrop going to be? And I better write a script for everything and practice. And but quite honestly, I knew that is just kind of a fear-based mindset. I wasn't going to let myself not take action because of those things. So I have an iPhone. I started with that. I asked my wife to hold the camera and came up with my first video idea. I did top 5 reasons why we moved to El Paso, which was easy to do because we had just moved and we had literally considered these things very carefully in our decision to make a move here. And, you know, pressed record and just went for it. So I think one thing that I would say is that it's so easy to create excuses for yourself not to start, whether it's the equipment or whether you think you're going to look silly on camera. It doesn't matter. I mean, quite honestly, what I've done is I've marketed and I try to educate people about El Paso, which is why I've been able to resonate, I think, with people who are moving to El Paso, because if you're moving to a new city, what are you going to do? You're going to type in on Google or YouTube, moving to wherever, Phoenix, moving to Dallas, moving to El Paso. And so you want to learn about the city. You want to see what the city's like. You want to see the restaurants. You want to see what the houses are like. You want to see how much everything costs. And I knew that all I really had to do was provide that kind of value added content and just go for it. Obviously, all of the kind of back end stuff with the tags and the thumbnails is super, super important. And I wouldn't have known any of that except for, you know, your instruction, which helped me understand that and put that into place. So, you know, for me, quite honestly, I had a moment of hesitation, but as a new real estate agent with absolutely no business, I mean, what did I have to lose? So like I said, I just pressed record and have been consistent to at least put out a video once a week. And it's had huge implications for my business.
Yeah, man, it's been so impressive to see because, you know, it's something a lot of people need to hear is you don't need the best video equipment. You don't need the perfect audio, the perfect script. And, you know, done is better than perfect. And the fact that you've got videos that are done and are on YouTube, they're growing your business while all these people that are waiting for a local videographer to come do the video while you sat there with your iPhone, you're getting deals and they're still wondering when their next deal's coming. But what I'll do, guys, is I'm going to link that video that John's alluding to up in the card above. So make sure you click that out and watch and see how John delivers this video, because even though it is a very basic video in terms of the equipment used, it's very knowledgeable. And I think that's something that a lot of agents overlook, is they say, well, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to do. I don't have enough experience. I'm a brand new agent. But just like you were saying, if you live in a city, which everybody does, you know things to talk about. You know how to educate people on your city. And that's exactly what you're doing as an agent, is being the city representative that people can confide in and trust. So John, what have been kind of some ideas that you can share with people that have been, your top performing videos in terms of what have gotten you actual client inquiries from your YouTube videos?
Absolutely. So funny enough that the very first video that I put out, top 5 reasons why we moved to El Paso, like you said, that video just reached over 10,000 views, and that one has the most views. But I was looking this morning, I was going through comments and responding to comments, and I was looking at which other videos performed well. I did a video on the pros and cons of living in El Paso. And this is, I think, a fantastic one to do, because it shows the people. I mean, if you go out there as a new real estate agent and you jump on the camera and you start talking about how great you are and you're the best real estate agent, and you start making the channel all about you, I don't think you're going to have a great deal of success. That's not it. But if you go on there and honestly provide that value of like, hey, I'm going to show you the things that are absolutely great about this city, in my opinion, but I'm going to also show you some things that maybe aren't so great. And of course, the trick on some of the cons is, if you don't like having a great time, don't move to El Paso. And of course, I might throw one of those in, but I'm always consistently trying to be as honest as humanly possible, provide as much value to people. So that one has done very well. It's funny, a lot of the videos that I've done, and I started doing these because people started reaching out and saying, hey, I'm moving to El Paso, but I don't know the city. Like, where should I move? Like, is there like in El Paso, we have the Franklin Mountains, and it divides our city essentially kind of in half. They run north-south. So there's a west side of El Paso and there's an east side of El Paso, and they're very different, different neighborhoods. And so some of the videos that I've done about, where to live in El Paso, where I'll just drive around and I'll say, hey, I'm in Las Ventanas neighborhood, and hey, now I'm over in Kern Place, and it's great because of this. And now I'm over here, and if you want to like get into new home construction, this is the place to be. So a lot of those videos that explain the different areas of town have done really well. And then the other one that I think you got to do is cost of living, because I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people want to know, hey, is it going to be more expensive? Is it going to be less expensive? And I'm fortunate, because in El Paso, our affordability, our cost of living is ridiculous. I mean, it's it's pretty incredible. So those have been the videos that have performed best for me.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's staples in the video world, because these videos work for every single person in every state, in every province, in every city. And it's something that anybody can do with no excuses. So it's exciting to see that you've really paved the way of the momentum. And, on that note of, what have been your best videos and building momentum, what kind of results have you gotten from your video? Because I know that you've posted in our private group that you've been getting almost daily calls. And then this month you've got a certain amount of transactions. For people that are wondering if you can actually attract deals from YouTube, why don't you give a bit of a synopsis of your success from there so far?
Absolutely. So up to this point, I've been with EXP for about 5 months. Like I said, I started the videos just under 5 months ago, and I went from having absolutely 0 leads essentially to having a significant amount of leads. And I have had experience with lower quality leads that probably everybody's familiar with, where you get somebody, in El Paso, we call them looky-loos. And they're not really, they're just kind of, maybe they respond to a Facebook thing I put up, and, they're not really legitimately seriously interested. And the quality of leads that I've been getting from YouTube has been remarkably higher than that, because these are folks who are making plans to move. So they're relocating for work, they're relocating to retire, they're relocating because they are really attracted to our weather or our climate. They're sick of the winters, right? They want to be down in this kind of desert, arid, dry climate, right? So these folks are high quality leads. These people are coming to me and saying, hey, this is our timeline. We're moving in X amount of months, or we're moving right now. Hey, I do this a lot as well. I have folks that even during COVID, mind you, are flying to El Paso. They're contacting me, a couple of days before saying, hey, John, we're coming down to El Paso. Can we get together? I'm like, of course we can get together. I drive them around the city. If they want to see houses, I show them some houses, but mostly I just show them around the different areas of town. I build that rapport with them, and those inevitably end up in deals. But like I said, these people that are coming to me from YouTube, these people, they're moving to El Paso. And the amazing thing about the channel, in my humble opinion, is that we always talk about trying to build that know, like, and trust factor with people. These people are reaching out to me, and essentially they already know me. They feel like they know me because they've been watching me every week, right? And quite honestly, they kind of like me already because, I'm being myself. They can see that I'm a genuine, authentic person who knows what he's talking about. And the trust factor is there already. Like, there's no way that they are going to watch my channel and, decide that, oh, I'm just going to reach out to some random real estate agent in El Paso. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for them because they've already developed that know, like, trust factor with me. And so, like I was telling you earlier, I'm been a little bit inundated, quite honestly, with buyers and transactions. And I have so many closing immediately kind of on top of each other that it's been a little bit stressful because I am a new real estate agent. So a lot of this stuff is kind of new. And so I was telling you, like, I've had to really get some systems into place to handle the traffic, and not only just lead traffic, but handle actual transactions that are putting money into my pocket. So the quality of the lead has been unbelievable, and the quantity of leads is fantastic, to the point where I mentioned this to folks, like I have a pipeline that's 6 months to 2-3 years that's starting to fill up and looking pretty good.
Incredible, man. And it's crazy to hear that you've got potentially 5 deals closing this month from YouTube. And you really remind me of somebody that I've had on previously who as well, which is Aditya Soma, who again in his first year just moved to Canada, barely spoke English, used an iPhone, decided to put out a city tour of Windsor, and did 56 deals in his first year. And it's so inspiring to see you guys diligently taking action, because you're given the blueprint and all that has to be done is to execute on it. And what I love about your videos, John, and everybody, to of course I'm going to link John's channel in the description of the pinned comment, but you're the same person on and off camera. And I think that's something that people really like about your channel, and that I am inspired by, because a lot of people are maybe like you, how you're talking right now, but then on camera on their videos, they're in a tux and they've got a script and they've got the perfect background in this luxury kitchen. And in person, they're wearing sweatpants and they're chill. Like, when you meet you here, you meet you in person, no matter where you see John Pena, he's the same. And that's what's really relatable to you as a family guy, which is what so many people want, to emulate. Now, John, before we get into, one of the last things I want to talk about, kind of give a bit of a blueprint to what you recommend people to do. If they see this video and they're like, okay, if John can do it, I can do it. 2021's coming. I'm going to start doing video. Maybe walk people through your idea phase of how you come up with videos, and then, record. And then maybe for people who don't know about video optimization, what are some of the key things that they need to watch out for in order to have the end result of a video that actually attracts clients?
Absolutely. So what I did is I pretty much kind of decided that I was going to try to target the relocation market. So I knew that since I wasn't a local, that wasn't going to really be my angle. So since I had recently relocated to the city, I thought I would resonate well with other people who were considering relocating to the city. So I kind of niched into what I thought was going to work for me. And then once I had that established, then I started just simply asking myself questions of, all right, if I'm going to move to this city, what type of information would I find most useful, most helpful? What would be the most value that I could give to these people who are, considering a move to El Paso? So that's really kind of the foundation of my channel. And so a lot of the subjects that you suggest, for the pros and cons, top 5 reasons, cost of living, those were slam dunks for me. And once those videos, I cranked those videos out, then I have to start, once you get, those, let's say 5, 10 core videos in your pocket, then you got to start thinking about, okay, where can I take this? And so for me, and you helped me on some of this, you pointed out on my channel recently, hey, maybe include some market updates. I don't see this. And you're exactly right. I kind of had slipped my mind. So the video I'm actually going to release on for tomorrow is going to be a market update, kind of talking about, the El Paso market and, what's been happening. All of that data is easily accessible to me. And so that's a great value that I can give other people to say, hey, look, this many houses sold and, this was the average selling price and this was the average days on market. That gives people a pretty good idea of, if they're a buyer, what they can kind of expect. So those are good ideas. And it's funny, right before we were on this call, every week I go through all of the comments, because obviously I want to engage with my subscribers. I want them to know that, promises kept over time. Like I say on the videos, hey, drop a comment. I respond to every single one. And so obviously I want to do that. And so it's funny now, I get a lot of my video ideas from the subscribers and from the people that actually drop the comments. And then I just write those ideas down and, I'm like, hey, thanks so much for the suggestion. That's a great idea. Look for that video to come. So I'm always kind of thinking about different ideas about what does my perfect audience want? And then the people that comment, they give me great ideas. And then the other thing that has been just ironic with timing is that I really want to go out and showcase the city and show how awesome it is. Because when we first moved here last year in the summer, there were festivals and events and all this great stuff going on. And then COVID blew it all up. And so I'm really looking forward to COVID getting under control so that those events start to come back, because that's the one thing that's missing from my channel is kind of the community life and the events and kind of the hustle and bustle of it all, because that's been, squashed by this pandemic. So I'm looking forward to creating content once we kind of get under control with that situation.
Definitely, man. It's going to be exciting to see your channel continue to flourish, and it's growing very steadily, which is awesome. And guys, kind of a synopsis of what John did is, again, on the equipment side, he had no excuses, used his phone. And the most important thing, and you'll notice when you look at John's videos and why they rank #1, is on the optimization side. So making sure that one of the biggest pitfalls I see agents make with videos is, whether they do it themselves or whether they hire a local videographer, is that they invest their time and or money into creating content. They put it out and it gets 37 views, and they either have the ignorance of thinking that, oh, one day it's going to help my business, or B, they're self-aware enough and humble enough to know that I did something wrong. And the one thing that you did wrong was not optimizing your video. So make sure that you're optimizing the tags, the titles, the descriptions, the thumbnails, in order to make sure that when people are searching, they're actually going to find your video. So, kind of to bring things full circle, John, #1, what can we expect from your channel in the future? And #2, why did you decide to, kind of partner with our group and, see this as a potential opportunity to scale your business when you were previously, struggling by your terms?
Absolutely. Yeah. And to speak to your point, you're absolutely right. The optimization thing, that's key. I have another real estate agent who keeps reaching out to me, and he started a channel, and you could tell this guy doesn't have a lot of direction. He doesn't do a lot of, educating himself. He's just kind of putting stuff out there and hoping that it's going to take off. And you're so right. The optimization, the titles, the tags, the thumbnail, all of it is so important. And the other thing that I feel is pretty darn important as well is that consistency. Like I
Yes.
consistently have a video that goes out every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. no matter what. Like, and I will not miss that, because to my understanding, consistency is pretty important. And so that was something that you taught me as well, that, I think played a pretty big part. But the optimization is, you're so right. It's huge. It's everything. So like I said, for the future of the channel, I definitely want to find some ways to start leveraging it for sellers. As you can imagine, one idea that I've had is when I start meeting with sellers, not only can I say, I'm going to market your home this traditional way and this traditional way and this traditional way that every other real estate agent's going to tell you, but I also have this channel that has, over 500 subscribers. It's had over 300,000 impressions in the last 5 months. I can put your home in front of more eyes than, your other typical agent. So I've also started leveraging it in terms of whenever a new lead comes into me, we use KV Core at EXP. I have an automatic text that goes out to that new lead, and there's a link in there that takes them to my channel in case they don't know about it, takes them to my channel. And it's like a welcome to, the name that I use is Pena El Paso. And it's a 54-second video of me essentially introducing myself to the new lead. My face, boom. They get it on their phone, they click it, they open it up, they see me. The motto that I've been using for my business is above and beyond. And so I made another video explaining what that means to me. And I send that video out in an email later to that new lead. So I use it for, kind of dripping on leads. And as far as why I joined EXP, for me, I mentioned that as a new real estate agent, I joined Keller Williams, and I just didn't know any better in that I wanted kind of the safety and the security of that brick and mortar building. So as a new agent, I was like, oh, what if I have a question and I need to go ask somebody? Like I thought that I would just need to go there and then I could talk to somebody, and that's great. But then ironically, COVID blew that up a little bit. And then I started to realize that really wasn't necessary. And at Keller Williams, I was on a 70-30 split. My cap was 22.5. EXP, 80-20, $16,000 cap, and the rev share opportunities and the equity opportunities. And then joining under you as my sponsor and getting all of your paid content for free. The masterminds, the other members of this group are phenomenal people. It's a very supporting, loving group of people to work with. And so between all of those things, it was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, man, it's an absolute blessing to have you in our group. And, you've paved the way for so many people and inspired so many people to finally get off their butt and take action. I'm incredibly grateful to have you in our group. So guys, again, make sure you check out John's channel, because it's going to be such a great reference for you. If you're looking to find ideas for videos, it's all about R&D. Rep off and duplicate. Look at what's worked for John. Do it in your own city. This stuff is templated. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to execute on what's already proven to work. And John, of all people that I've seen in 2020, has been the best at consistently executing on what works. So I'm beyond excited to see your channel continue to go to 1,000 and then 10,000, and, already paved the way for so many new people. And, you really are inspiring a lot of people, John. So the fact that, you're making an impact on the industry is unbelievable. And we're really grateful for your time and sharing that insight today. So guys, make sure you check out John's channel. I've got a bunch of videos of his linked in the pinned comment and the description. And, thanks again, John. I really appreciate you being on here, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.